Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to yet another episode on your favorite Little Slaw YouTube channel. So today in this video, we're going to see the part two. We're going to see about what is the difference in terms of security between the SOAP and the REST API, and also we're going to see about the error handling. How does the error handling works in between the SOAP and REST API, and we are going to see an use case and ease of implementation because that's more important in terms of implementation. You need to know how easy it is while implementing, and also we'll talk about one of the important concept, which is the caching. So we're going to deal with all these five topics today in this video. And before moving to this video, this is me, Vasant Shanmugam. I welcome you all to our Little Slaw YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed it yet, and please do join the channel for more exclusive contents and access to training videos as well. And yeah, and as you all know, I'm conducting load runner training on September 14th and 15th. In fact, I'm telling this on daily videos. So if you're interested to join the video, please do uh, reach out to me in my WhatsApp channel, and you can learn more information. And if you want, you can register as soon as possible because we're giving some early bird offers as well. And yeah, so in this video, we're going to see about the SOAP versus REST API, and this is part two. So if you missed my part one, you can check the link in the description. And yeah, so let's go to the video. So the first part, which we are going to discuss today in terms of the difference between the SOAP and the REST API, is the security. So security plays a high role, or again, when we are implementing any services to connect with the interfaces with from the web servers to the app servers or from any third-party servers. So wherever we implement them, we always take security as a standard, right? So when it comes to SOAP, we do have the built-in WS security. So actually, SOAP supports advanced security features through WS security, which provides end-to-end security, including message integrity. So whenever you send any message, every single data of the message, every single byte of the message will reach from the source to the target. So that will be taken care. That's why I mention it as end-to-end security. And also in terms of confidentiality, it plays a major role, and in terms of the authentication. So overall, SOAP has our SOAP supports advanced security features through WS security, which provides again with end-to-end security, including message integrity. That's very important to mention, with message integrity, with confidentiality and authentication. So it supports digital signature. So we all know digital signature is a main concept, or I would say we all deal with digital signatures every day to day in day-to-day life. So every website that comes in should have a digital signature. That's so the SOAP supports digital signatures and encryption. So if you're sending some data from one end to the other end, which is highly sensitive, and if you do not want the intruders to read those data, encryption is a main topic or main attribute that has to be part of your messages in terms of your security. And then it is token based as well. So you do use token based authentication. So all these parts collectively makes SOAP connection or SOAP services suitable for applications with stringent security requirements like financial services. So if you're someone who works in a financial security, financial department, a financial application, a financial domain, you must know that you are using SOAP because, like I told you, they take care of end-to-end security, which includes messaging security, and it supports a digital signature. So if you are someone who is in a financial service, you know how much critical the digital signatures are, and the in terms of encryption and token based authentication. So all these are very important. So if you want to increase, or if you want to have a better security, have the best security feature in terms of connectivity, so you must use SOAP services. And on the other hand, when it comes to the REST, so it's HTTPS based security, because we all know REST API plays well in the web applications, mainly with the HTTP protocol. So REST relies on HTTP for secure communication, which encrypts the data in transit. So while there is generally sufficient for, while I mean like this is generally sufficient for most applications, REST does not have the built-in fine-grained security features, which like how the SOAP offers. Like SOAP has multiple security features, but REST does not have the built-in or fine-grained security features. But additional security measures can be implemented if it is needed. Like for example, you can use OAuth, the authentication for authentication for increasing the security. So like I told you, when it comes to security or when it comes to high um, importance, if you're giving to your services or in terms of your messages, so SOAP is the priority. And REST does not have any inbuilt security features, even find in security features, but you can implement OAuth for authentication. So that's one thing you need to know, and that's about the security. So next we will move on to the error handling. So how does SOAP and REST handles the error? So the next part is the error handling. So SOAP uses a fault element in the message body. I mean, like it handles the detailed fault messages using the fault element in the message body to handle errors. So these fault messages provide detailed information about the error, so which includes fault code, fault string, and fault actor. And this structured error handling is useful in complex applications where detailed error diagnostics are required. And I mean, in fact, I'm after taking this video, I'm very interested to create SOAP services, and I will, in fact, will take you through SOAP testing as well. I remember I was testing this long back, but still, I'm interested to do a SOAP end-to-end testing. So if you are interested too, please do give a comment in the comment section. And yeah, so coming back to this error handling, yep, let's complete that. So, like I told you, this fault messages provides detailed information about error, which includes fault code. So you'll get the fault code as well, the fault string, and the fault actor. So this structured error handling, I mean, like so from the beginning, I'm telling you, it has a very structured setup, a structured template. So this structured error handling is useful in complex applications where detailed error diagnostics are required. And when it comes to the REST, so it has HTTP status code. So REST uses standard HTTP status codes to indicate the result of an API request. So as we all know, since beginning I'm telling you, REST deals mostly with the HTTP, it relies mostly on the web application. So common codes which include 200 OK, which we all know. 200 is a status code for OK, and 404 is not found, and 500 is internal server errors. This approach is simpler and it aligns well with the web architecture, which makes it easier to understand and implement. So overall, I would say you have a very good detailed structure in terms of so, but again, it's only about the status codes, the common codes which you get as a result of an API request. So it can be a 200, it can be 404, and it can be 500. But this approach is very simpler and it aligns well with the web architectures, which makes it easier to understand and implement. So that means it does have a lesser support for other applications, right? So it works fine with the HTTP, the web protocols, but not with the other uh, applications, right? So now the next one is let's move on to the use cases part. Let's see how does the use cases work with the SOAP. So the third topic in terms of SOAP versus REST API is the use cases. So moving to the use cases part. So when it comes to the difference between the SOAP versus REST API, so in SOAP, it's very ideal for applications which require a high level of security, reliability, and transactional support. And it's commonly used in industries like banking, healthcare, and government related projects where complex operations and strict compliance standards are necessary. So that's the reason I told you from the beginning, like SOAP has a very good structured template. And again, even in fact, we talked about the security, like where it supports digital signatures, it supports encryption, it supports token based authentication. So just try to understand the layer of security it provides. So that's the reason it's more likable for domains or for applications, enterprise applications like banking, the healthcare, and government, because those data has to be very much secure, right? So we all know that. So that's the reason we use SOAP for these enterprise level applications. But when it comes to the REST, it's very best for web services, mobile apps, scalable and high performance scenarios. Yes, REST is well suitable for web services and mobile applications where simplicity, scalability, and performance are priorities. And it's very lightweight, which we all know. It's very lightweight in terms when it's using JSON. Yesterday we saw that it uses JSON, and JSON is very lightweight. So it's lightweight in nature, which makes it ideal for APIs that need to support a large number of clients or that operate in resource constrained environments. So that's about the SOAP versus REST API. So SOAP, I know it's, yeah, we all know that uh, it's very complex. It has lots and lots of security stringent methods. Its architecture, its it in fact it is defined by the World Wide Web Consortium, the W3C, and it has a specific structure for messaging, which has the header, the envelope, the header and body, and all these compiled to make the SOAP very strong and secure. And in fact, the servers process the request and which returns a response in terms of the remote procedure call. Again, this approach, why I'm telling you this approach is like this approach is a tightly coupled operation where the client and server need to closely interact. And also, when we talk about the data format, which we discussed already yesterday, that the XML structured nature which we use in SOAP makes it highly suitable for complex data exchanges and validations. And that's the reason we are seeing here that it's in fact it supports multiple protocols as well, like not like REST API. So when seeing all these part, like it supports multiple protocols, it supports um the W3 consortium structure where it has an envelope, it has a body, it has a header, and taking all these, and that's the reason SOAP is used in enterprise level applications like banking, healthcare, and government. So I think there is no no more to say about why do we use SOAP in these industries. And now we'll see about the ease of implementation in terms of SOAP and REST API. And now we'll discuss about the ease of implementation. So implementing SOAP can be challenging because we all know we are discussing that back to back because of its strict standards and the need for extensive tooling because developers must handle the intricacies of XML, the WSDL. We all know. I mean, like it's very uh, very most talked about thing. If you are someone who is using SOAP, you must know this that WSDL one. So WSDL is how we get the SOAP file. So the web services description language and various WS standards, which is web services standards, which can increase the development time and complexity. Yes, it's again, I personally I would say that building a SOAP, building a WSDL file, and building an XML for SOAP. After incorporating all the standards, the security standards, yes, it's very complex in terms of implementation. On the other hand, but still, I would say, even though it's very difficult to build, or even though it takes a lot of development time and complexity, it's still, I would say, the brighter side on it is it's very secured. So we can have enough, we can give that time because if you want something to be secured, if you want something to be more quality, you can spend that time. And when it comes to REST, it's very simple, easy to implement. Like I mentioned here, so REST is easier to implement and understand. Yes, because it's easy to implement, it's also easy to understand because it uses standard HTTP methods and it's not bound by strict messaging standards. Like it does not have a W3 consortium standards. It does not have an envelope header body. It does not bound by any strict messaging standards, and developers can quickly create RESTful APIs using common frameworks and tools, which makes it a popular choice for modern web development. And next, the last part of this video, we're going to see about the caching. So how does the caching works in terms of SOAP and REST API? So the last topic of the day, which is the caching. So the main difference in terms of SOAP and REST API in terms of caching is SOAP has no caching support. Yes, you heard it right. SOAP has no caching support because SOAP does not inherently support caching, and this can be a limitation in scenarios where the data retrieval efficiency is critical, as every request requires full processing, which leads to potential performance bottlenecks, right? Because since it does not support caching, yes, like I said, it's a limitation, right? It's a limitation scenarios where data retrieval efficiency is very critical. So because every request requires full processing, which leads to potential performance bottlenecks. Because every time it goes back to the server, it picks up the data, it comes back, it creates a lot of bottlenecks in terms of the network bandwidth, in terms of latency, in terms of the disk input output. Yes, it does create, but in terms of the REST APIs, it's caching supported. Yes, REST supports caching through HTTP headers, such as cache control. So we all know when we are using SOAP, when we are recording the REST APIs, you must see two headers. One is the cache control, and the other one is expires. So these can significantly improve the performance by reducing the need for repeated data processing for frequently accessed resources, because caching is one of the key feature that makes REST API highly efficient. And we all know how caching improves the performance of the application. And in fact, I have even had a video on how to increase the caching, I mean the browser caching, which actually improves the performance of the application. So yeah, these are the topics which I want to discuss today. And tomorrow we'll discuss the next five topics, which is the state, the transactions, extensibility, tooling and support, and message size. But for now, today, just to give a quick recap, so we discussed about the security. So in security, SOAP has the upper hand because it supports the digital signatures, the encryption, the token-based authentication, and in terms of error handling, yes, again, SOAP gives you the full information, the detailed information about the fault code, the fault string, and fault actor. Yes, and in terms of use cases, yes, SOAP can be used in banking, the healthcare, and government, because if I mean they need complex operations and strict compliance standards were necessary for those industries. And when it comes to ease of implementation, REST APIs takes the upper hand because REST is easier to implement and understand because it uses standard HTTP methods and it's not bound by strict messaging standards. And finally, caching. SOAP does not support caching, and REST API supports caching, and it caches through the HTTP headers, and it has two headers. One is cache control and the other one is expires. So with that, I come to an end, and I definitely believe this video would be very useful to you. So until I meet you in my next video, it's bye bye from Ashish Shanmugam and your favorite little star YouTube channel. Take care and bye bye.